We are live. What is up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well. We got some early people in the house. Stang 2007 is first today. Beat Craig Lilly by just little. What's up, Stang? We got Craig Lilly in the house. We got Donut Farmer Zero, Royce Poisey. What's up? What's up? We got Kale 130. Got James Ray, Smash TV Network, a lot of the usuals. What's up, Firestorm? What's up, Klinged? Chase Atwood. What's up? How's everybody doing? Just gonna hang out for a bit as we start stream. I don't have any particular topic at hand, so I'll just let the chat kind of guide the stream. Though, we are missing our weekly tech drama shouter. Let's see if they're gonna come in with the tech drama. But they're within the last week in the PC tech space. Another kind of like bombshell of tech drama dropped. If anyone follows it, I was kind of getting caught up with it, but it's from a company that I literally have never bought a product from, and I don't think I ever would have. But most of you, if you guys watch Gamers Nexus, you would know because they did an investigative piece on it. But I've been seeing them pop up on other like tech news outlets. Yeah, EK Waterblock, exactly. What up, Young? What up, Victor? What up, Jan? Hello, hello, hello. What excites y'all about the PC tech space as of late? Because to be honest, for me, it hasn't been too much. Yeah, like, I don't know. That's kind of why I took a little break from creating long form content. It just, all the typical stuff, it kind of lost its like excitement for me. But I am still planning on coming back with a budget-ish build as well as other stuff. But yeah, in terms of new releases, I don't know, man. It's like, are they ever gonna release the more budget oriented graphics cards? Maybe even cheaper CPUs? Yeah, there's no excitement right now. Not much at the moment. So it's not just me, right? Like, I mean, like, case companies are still coming out with cases and stuff, and that, depending on what it is, can be somewhat exciting. Someone posted actually on the Discord a new case, a newish case, anyways, from Deepcool, which is kind of exciting. I'll pull that up right now. Oh, what happened to my stream browser? Give me a second. Here we go. Yeah, like, stuff like this, even though, you know, there's so many different cases out there to choose from, and honestly, there are pretty similar cases to this with regards to, like, a small ITX, like, lunchbox form factor with the handle. But, of course, I'm excited about this one. This is the Deepcool CH160 case, and this was actually posted by Nemus Dark on the Discord. But, I mean, I think this is a pretty cool looking case. It has a lot of ventilation, that's for sure. But with regards to anything that is doing inside the case, it's your typical kind of like an NR200, I guess, without the bracket. But a lot of these ITX cases, they don't have much going on with regards to like hidden chambers or with cable management, because there's no room to. Everything just sits in one chamber. So when you have your power supply in here, wherever it goes, the power supply, I'm trying to figure out where it goes on this. They don't have a picture of it filled out with parts. I'm trying to look at the holes for where the SFX power supply would go. I mean, if I had to guess, it's front mounted most likely, because your motherboard's over here with your cooler sticking out. So yeah, it'd be another one of the front mounted style ITX cases. Mounts at the front. Yeah, do they have a different angle? I mean, these images aren't really doing a good job of showing. It might be like a bracket or something. I can't see from these images. Oh, right. That looks like fan mounting. So I wish there was a picture of this filled out. They probably didn't post it because, I mean, to be honest, I don't think this is gonna look that clean. I mean, you're gonna have cables, unless you get like custom length cables. There's no room to like hide them, really. But regardless, overall the form factor, I like it. Surprisingly enough, it supports ATX PSUs, but that's only with select GPUs. I mean, I'm not. Let's see if they have their full page out. CH120 Ultra Portable Mini ITX. Yeah, none of these have filled out. Oh, here we go. Come on. Yeah, so power supply goes right there. Graphics card, GPU size limit. If you have ATX 230 millimeters. Does anyone know what 230 millimeters looks like off the top of their head? Let me see. Where's my ruler? Upstairs. I might go static. I'm just gonna pick a random graphics card off the shelf. And we're gonna actually, we'll just pick up the same 2080 Super that we talked about 1 or 2 streams ago. So 230 millimeters. Otherwise, it can fit a 305 millimeter. So this is a 2-fan card. This is a 2-fan card, but it's a bit longer because look at this gap in between. Look at that fan gap. Not many cards that have 2 fans have like a big gap like this. But this one, the length is... So they said 230. So this is 265. So it's about 3.5 centimeters too long. Without that, let me see what this fan gap is. Yeah, without the fan gap, this would have fit. So basically, any standard 2-fan card can fit in this card, or can fit in this case, which I think isn't that bad, honestly. If you could, you know, fit an ATX power supply in there and save some money that way. Though, typically, the way that they do the cabling for small form factor power supplies, they're typically shorter cables because they are usually put into smaller cases that don't need as much length to reach the components. So you put an ATX power supply in there with the stock cables, whatever that may be, you know, even if it is modular, you're gonna have some pretty long cables to kind of cable manage and try to hide. But yeah. Oh, did Zach already do a video on it? Let me see. Let's see if I just put Deep Cool CH160. Who has made videos on it so far? Gear Seekers, Mr. Matt Lee. It's cheap but not a nasty. What? What do they mean by? What did Nick mean by this? The Deep Cool CH160 is cheap but not a nasty small form factor ITX case. I have not watched videos on this yet. You said Zach did a video on it? Okay, let's see. So SCH. Oh, here it is. An actually affordable ITX gaming PC. Nice. Let's see what his budget was.
Switch to the...
Oh my goodness, that was loud. Alright. We're gonna go to his... Where's his summary? Not that I don't want to watch the video. I'll watch it on my own time. But if you guys want to watch this, definitely go give Zach the views. I don't want to do that thing where like you watch it and then take the views from them. Okay, 12600K. I've got one of those on hand. Z690i Aorus. So there's a $1,000 build with the 12600K with the 3070, and it's in an ITX form factor. What power supply did he use? He did use an SFX one. He used the $170 power supply. Dang. That is, let's see. Yeah, the second most expensive part, which, I mean, it's the power supply. It's a very important part of your build. But I feel like I wonder if he got this sent to him, having not watched the video. When is this case supposed to be available? Yeah, so a lot of the times, and I don't know if Zach explains in this video, but companies want to send us like everything that they have, and we could only take in so much. And when they do send it to us, like, we'll use it in a build, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's like the best value part. Like, for a build like this, 12600K, assuming you don't want or you don't need like future proofing, you could use definitely a cheaper and lower rated power supply. So I mean, Zach for sure knows that. So it's May 8th on Newegg is when the case is available. Okay. CH160 Newegg. $70 too. God, that's... How much is the TU150? Yeah, look at something similar, right? The Lee & Lee TU150 out of stock. I forgot what this MSRP'd for. I still really love this case. I have one of these still, but 145. But this was like a few years ago. And definitely a different design, you know, less breathability. But I really like the way that this case folded in with it. Yeah. $70 and the white one too. The white one looks pretty clean. Look at that. If you put this beefy cooler in there, that pretty much covers up the whole thing. You wanted to buy two, but the pre-order was limited to one? Yeah, is it? Let me take a look at the Newegg, let's see, ITX PC case selection right now. So we go to ITX, form factor. Did I totally miss? Okay. How come there's not just a mini ITX? Here, let me select computer cases within the computer case subsection. Okay, here we go. Mini ITX. ATX mini tower. No, let's not look at towers. Let's look at the ones that pretty much all share this little similar form factor. Okay. NR120. Let's sort by lowest price. Is that going to come up as the lowest price or one of the lowest price? So we do have $60, $60. The thermal. Did anyone ever build in the Thermaltake Corby 1? This thing was really small, and I feel like this thing has been around for a while. I've never built in one, but it's just because it's very limited in what you could put into it. Like, I like ITX builds, but I don't like them to the point where you're going way too small, where you're ultra limited on the parts that you can put in. Like, something like the CH160 is like the perfect sweet spot for ITX form factor. So it comes up right here. What's up with these... Dude. Newegg. I'm pretty sure I sorted by lowest price. I sorted by lowest price, and you're giving me stuff that's like 67 bucks, 70 bucks, 75 bucks, and then this comes out. Oh, it's because of the shipping. Yeah. So $7 shipping, so it's really $77. Okay. I take it back, Newegg. I'm sorry for complaining right there. That was on me. But yeah, going through the other options, there's not much else. Like the Silverstone case, SG130 or 13B. This definitely looks like an older style case right here. It doesn't have that modern like design aesthetic or flair to it. Anything else with handles this small? Shaner, did you pre-order one as well? K130 says, I actually wish I had a smaller tower on my desk every time I see a nice looking smaller case. Yeah. When you look at desk setups, I don't know, it just, having a smaller PC case frees up so much more of your desk to put other crap on it, I guess. Like my desk has a bunch of stuff that has been made, that has room since, it's not too deep forward and back. I don't know. I like being type of messy PC desk type of person. Like it's more functional for me than to put everything into drawers and like constantly be looking for stuff. Like I put the stuff that I use the most just right there within reach of it, and I can show you how much room I saved if I can. Is this gonna work? Yeah, so I mean, with how much space, how little space the tower takes up, you know, normally a PC case would probably come up to around like here-ish, or maybe even a little bit more, depending how big it is. But like, I keep like my mics, extra drives. I use this phone for random stuff, but like, just random devices here. Of course, my nail clippers, you know, because also my desk doesn't really have drawers. I do have like this kind of like very narrow drawer, but yeah, I don't have like those IKEA Alex drawers or anything like that. So in terms of desks, I don't have drawer space on either of my desks. And that keeps it like nice and mobile, so I can slide it around and all that, and make it stand and sit and stuff. So having more desk space for me is definitely a big benefit. You know, alongside of being able to just pick up my PC and move it around or go to a LAN, all that. Though I have a separate LAN PC now, so I don't need to pick it up as often anymore. But I do, you know, take it outside to clean every once in a while. Look at, yeah, so we're already into the hundreds of dollars. There's not that many PC cases with handles, let alone cheap ones with handles. This one actually looks pretty cool. It's but this is like a rigid handle that sticks out quite a bit, as opposed to one that either folds in or kind of like the CH130. It's much lower profile and has somewhat of a, looks like it somewhat folds in. Take a look at the Sama Newview 4361. Great value. Alright. Okay, so this is just a standard mid-tower case. Though it's got that glass-to-glass corner that everyone seems to be going for these days. 70 bucks, you've got 3 ARGB fans with the side intake, because you do have a glass front. Those fans look actually, they look flashy, I'll say that. That's not my style. Where like, you got the infinity mirror on the front, you got, it looks like somewhat of an infinity thing on the side, and you got these little RGB bars. Yeah, these fans look very extra for a case like this. I'm trying to see more. Yeah, I mean, the power supply basement has cooling. Yeah, pretty good value in this case. I think that's one cool thing about the case and even like the air cooling market, is that there's tons of options, but there's a ton of competition. You know, case manufacturers trying to push things cheaper and cheaper. Shauner uses his laptop as the LAN PC. What's the specs of your laptop? Yeah, the nice thing about a laptop is, like, all you have to do really is bring a mouse. It's got a built-in monitor, and it's got a built-in keyboard. And I guess if you're, depending on the game you're playing, you could even use the trackpad. But all you really need to do is bring a mouse and your charger, and you're good to go. As opposed to bringing the full, like, setup. Like, I bring a whole tote with me every time. But that's just, as someone who has been doing that for years, like, it's not a bother to me, but I could see the allure of bringing a laptop to a LAN. KL130 says, we all know a handle adds 100 plus points in these parts. Yeah, handle and cube form factors. My favorite things about cases. I don't know what about a cube as opposed to like a standard, more like rectangular, flatter aspect ratio. Firestorm says, what's that lapel monitor you got? Off the top of my head, is it? Here, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Should be on my vetted page, which I think is linked in all my descriptions. Where's the lapel monitor? This shows, like, I haven't updated this in a while, but this usually has all the gear that I use. Products I use my... Oh, here we go. Lapel. Let's see if this is still available. Yeah, I wouldn't... So this is the one that I'm using, but I wouldn't get this one. You can get equivalent 1080p monitors, portable monitors for like 90 to 100 bucks. This is... I mean, this product... I don't even think it's... Yeah, you can only get it used. This isn't even in stock anymore. They've already moved on, made revisions. So I would just type in 1080p portable monitor and find anything that has decent reviews. Because there's nothing special about mine. If anything, I would try to get one that is a single cable for both display and for power. The bad thing about mine right now is it has two separate cables, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, so I would try to pick any... I mean, they're typical... They don't get much cheaper. Let's see. Oh, this one's 64 bucks? I bet it's dual cable, though. You need a separate, like, power and a display. But yeah, depending on how much you're looking to spend, I mean, look at this. This is kind of like... Monitors is similar to, like, motherboards and PC cases. There's, like, tons to choose from. Really hard to make a recommendation without looking through individually and looking at the feature set. Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing? How you liking the CH160? I have not had a chance to watch your video. We did skim through it a little bit, and we saw that I was mostly looking for your build summary because, you know, you said a very affordable ITX gaming PC. But of course, because it's ITX, it ran into like the $1,000 price mark, which is, you know, I think if you're building ITX, it's really hard to get it much cheaper because then you're spending so much on the motherboard and like specialty, like small form factor power supply. And if you try to cheap out more on like the CPU and graphics card, then it becomes like a totally unbalanced build. So yeah, with ITX, I feel like you have to kind of get closer to that $1,000 mark like you did. Though I did have a question with regards to the FSP Dagger, because I didn't watch the video yet, but I'm guessing they may have sent you that to like feature in a video, And you probably mentioned you could choose something cheaper. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. I feel like I know you and your content enough. It was heck a sponsored video. Yep, the video was mostly about the case, but yeah, no, I get that. That's one of the things about being a PC content creator when companies want to send you stuff. For everyone else who's like watching, like a lot of times we use stuff to check it out because the company's like, hey, we want to send you this, and then we're kind of on the hook to make a video or at least feature it. So then we'll like feature it so that we get a chance to use it and give our thoughts and stuff. But it might not be the best value parts. And usually in the videos we try to like say, you know what, if you're trying to save money, here's where you can do it, and then for this build, I mean, for the most part, I think the power supply was the only standout thing that like was like, slightly a strange option, but yeah. Yeah, there you go. I want to build an actually cheap PC, in this case after the video. I need to take a look. I've been kind of ignoring a lot of my sponsor, or at least my contact emails. Let me see. Did they try to send me this case? Yes. Okay, so maybe I need to hit them back up. I'm interested in building this case too, but I don't know. I wouldn't put my personal build in it because I've already swapped my build recently, and I'm not trying to swap like 2-3 times a year. I'm trying to at least use this next case, which is the Corsair 2000D, for at least like a year before I swap. So now I need to scrounge together ITX parts, which isn't the most fun to do because you know, in terms of value, performance per dollar, it's not the best. I did get a shout out. Okay, I need to go watch that. I'm sure it's multiple people have given me shout outs, or not shout outs, but they usually say like something like, I know Nerd on a Budget would love this case because of the handles. I know David does tech stuff, has done it as well as others. But yes, I am obsessed with the handle, so I definitely need to check out this case. Multiple people have linked me it as well because they know that as any case that comes out with the handle, they gotta link it to me. So very cool, very cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check out this fully. Victor Guardati says, I just case swapped from the 4000D. What did you case swap into now that you're out of the 4000D? I like the 4000D a lot. Are these still going for about 90 bucks? Yeah, Best Buy and Amazon has it for 90 bucks. Though, the thing is, when this first came out, I still think it's a pretty good value, but if you want something from like Corsair, or if you want something that's more like heavy built, because this case has a lot of material in it. If you compare this to like a mid tower from Sama or from DIYPC or from Montech, you will notice the difference in heft. Now, how important that is in a PC case is up to you, but with regards to using like thicker materials, with regards to tolerance, I would say that's not that much of an issue. But with regards to like thicker panels, thicker tempered glass, maybe more features like with the pop-in panels, you know, less screws, Corsair does a good job at it. But for 90 bucks, we just saw another case for $78 that has 3 ARGB fans in it, that has glass-to-glass front and side panel design. So I don't know, it's like, I would say definitely build quality of like this is better than those cheaper $60, $70, $80 cases that is kitted out with the fans. But at the end of the day, are you throwing your case like around, or it's sitting on your desk? How much like ruggedness do you need in a case, right? Shauner says, I wish the 4000D would come down a bit in price. Yeah, the fact that it has no, I mean, it has 2 fans, right? One's in the center. They couldn't even fill out the front fans. They have like one dead set in the center, 2 non-RGB, and 1 in the rear. You could get a build going, but for the price that you're spending on this case, $90, the type of components that you're gonna put into this, like, I don't know if you would want to just cheap out and just leave those 2 stock fans. You're probably gonna want to fill it out more. Corsair tax, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be great to see this down at 70 bucks. It's at 90 right now. The fact that, you know, maybe 75, pushing 80. I mean, 10 bucks on 90 is like 11%. So that's still a noticeable amount. Like, it may sound like penny pinching when you're asking for $5, $10, $15 off, but we're only talking about cases sub $100 here. Michael Levote says, as long as a case holds together after I finish the build, I'm good. Yeah, so that's my mindset when I'm doing any build that's like under maybe like $600, right? If I'm building a sub $700 build and I'm trying to maximize on all the other components and I end up using like a $50, $60 case that's maybe, you know, not from a super well-known brand or something like that. Think of like Montex low-end Air series and stuff. My use case for that chassis is it holds all the parts, it gives me a power button, and it gives some like USB inputs at the front or the top. And that's pretty much it. It's a shell to hold everything else in. But as I start approaching the $1,000 like total build price, then I usually try to pick a case that's closer to $100. Unless I'm like super min-maxing, then I choose like a $60 case. I've done that before, but yeah. Z McNabb says, I just upgraded to a 1080p 360Hz monitor. I love it so much so far. First monitor upgrade in a decade. A decade? So you've been using one from 2014, which I'm trying to think of what was the norm. In 2014, I was definitely still using a 60Hz monitor. It was a 60Hz ultra wide. I still have it. It's actually Melissa's using it. When I upgraded my monitor, she ended up getting it for her office. Yeah, I was using an ultra wide monitor at the time, but still 60 hertz. I didn't hop on the higher refresh rate until probably closer to 2017 or 18. But yeah. Oh, Victor, you just sent a picture in Discord? Alright, let's see. What do we got here? What do we got? Oh, this case? You're using all Lee and Lee fans. I can't really tell which... Is that the Lee and Lee? Which case is this? Oops, I need to swap it to this. Oh, 11 Vision? Okay. I figured it was a Lee and Lee case because of the Lee and Lee fans. But there's so many cases that now do this glass on glass front side panel that, especially with this dark picture, it's hard to tell. But very nice looking build. Very, very, very nice looking build actually. Kale130 says, almost 2 years since I hit 1080p for the first time. So you're telling me, were you gaming on like 720p? Or even, I guess, maybe 900p or something, one of those obscure resolutions, up until 2022? Wait up. WHF Resale says, I guess I'm terrible then. I used DIYPC Cube 01 in a $3,500 rig with the 4090 pound edition. I need a picture of this. Can you post a picture of this on the Discord so we can pull this up? I want to see this. Let's see. DIYPC Cube 01. Which, I mean, this I want to say build it because I personally built in this case. I would say my review of this was kind of mixed. There were things I really liked about it, but then a couple of things that I wish they would have done better. But I think to a person who's not super like into PC hardware and stuff, you could probably use this with like the right set of hardware, and people would never guess this is like a $60 or $70 case. I'm trying to get that picture though of this $3,500 PC in this case. If we can get it either on the stream submissions or the general channel, that would be amazing. Kubler, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. What's a good CPU for $100 to $200? It's kind of hard to answer that without knowing, like, do you have a build already that's already on a certain platform? Or are you gonna pick a CPU within that price range and then pick a motherboard to complement it after the fact? Do you have the graphics card already? Like, there's so many more questions. What's your overall build budget? You know, like, it's hard to answer such a general question like this without needing at least like 3 or 4 more pieces of information. Make him go live. The thing about bringing other people onto the live stream is I have no control over what they may or may not do, which, like, the 0.1% of the bad apples out there ruin it for the rest of the people. I have thought about for the streams doing like a call-in segment where people can call in and ask questions or even like ask for help for a PC build, but like picking up random people in a Discord call during a live stream, like if they decide to just say something, it's like live TV, right? If they decide to say something or show something that's not meant to be on YouTube, then you know, there's trolls out there. That would be bad for me. I'm not trying to risk getting my channel striked or banned for stuff like that. And dude, the thing is, I don't want to do a delay. And even if I did a delay, I wouldn't even know how to set it up so that if someone did something like that, what do? Cut the stream? You would have to end the whole stream. Like, I don't know how they do it on live TV, but something like that could, like, yeah, it would definitely need, like, way more of a production value to do. I don't think it's easy. Because the way that it works is, even though it's delayed, the conversation or the visual already happened. So how do you stop it from reaching YouTube side of things without cutting the stream right there and privating the video? That, I'm not sure, but there must be a way to do it, because tons of streamers do that type of content, so, yeah. Use a host panel? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that more, because I think that would be fun to do to get more interaction. Be able to bring people on and, like, not just go through chat. You sent it in stream submissions? Alright, let's take a look at this. We've got the $3,500 PC build in the DIYPC Cube 01. We have fun. Okay, we have fun is WH. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, look at that. Do you have the full list of specs? You went with an Arctic cooler too. That's like a deep dish pizza cooler. Look at that thing. That thing is thick. And the card and the radiator is thick. Yeah, what's the full specs of this? Also, come on, can we get an isometric angle too? I want more angles of this, like from a diagonal. Oh man, this is pretty cool to see. Not many LEDs going on here, it looks like. Here, let me open it up in a bigger picture. We do have like some halo fans on the bottom. But like this card is very simple. The cooler block simple. Looks like you've got the stock black fans going on here, or you turn them off. Huh, this is interesting. I'm seeing like the halo on these 3 fans, and then these top 4 ones are not. What are the specs on this? So we know you've got a 4090 in there. Without seeing the rest of it, you must have like a i7. It's $3,500? $3,500, I don't know how much you got your graphics card for, but let's say you got it for MSRP. So that leaves the rest at about like a little bit under 2,000, right? So what could you build? And then you have 2, I mean those could be 32 gigabyte modules. I mean you must have like i9 Ryzen 9 in here. Does the math work out on that? No, I guess maybe it might be Ryzen 7 i7. That PCIe slot gonna be fighting for its life with a card that big. Hopefully the cause this is what, 3 screws on the back here. You could use one of those posts right here to give it some support, like a black sag, not a sag bracket, but like a sag stick. Yeah, I think one with the glass on would be great too. We have fun if you can. If not, first of all, just thank you. You know, because a lot of times I feel people just talk on here to talk. Sometimes they'll make things up just to get a reaction, or you know, just to get people's reactions. But not, people don't always like back it up. This is an example of someone backing it up, actually doing what they said, which is kind of ridiculous, putting a $3,500 PC into a like $60 case. The GPU almost looks too big for that case. I mean, it fits, right? How can it be too big if it fits? No, but I get what you're talking about. I think this card, in my opinion, just looks weird. Even if you put it into a case that's much bigger, that's like more reflective of the price of the build, they just made this thing fat. Like, it's thicker, it's too thick for how long it is, if that makes sense. It is too thick for how long and wide it is. Like, yeah, it would look more balanced if it was both wider, which you can't really, because then you're gonna like beat the depths of most cases. And then longer, sure, there's a lot of other cases that will fit longer graphics cards. But yeah, this thing is just way too thick. No Diddy. No Diddy. Is that something that a lot of people are saying outside of the boxing world too? Which, by the way, did anyone watch the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney fight? That was, man. I started watching boxing only within the last like 5 or so years, but that's definitely one of, it is the most entertaining fight that I have watched in real time. Like, I've watched highlights of other good fights and stuff like that, like from past fights, but to watch it as basically what was happening, yeah, that was crazy. I did not see that Mayweather told him to do that. The whole... Sorry, now we're doing a little bit of boxing talk. I don't know how many people watch boxing or boxing fans out here. But what I'm very curious about is what were their weights during the night of the fight. Like, what did they rehydrate to? To me, I'm not particularly a fan of Ryan or Devin. I think Ryan is the more exciting fighter. Obviously, not just because he's more social, like, media influencer, but like his... You know, he's fast, he's strong. Devin Haney is more technical, more boring to watch. I thought Lomachenko beat him anyways. But, yeah. So, during the fight, I thought that if Ryan were to win, he would have gotten a knockout, but he didn't. But, yeah, I don't think 3 pounds was a big deal. Like, Devin looked like he killed himself to make that weight. I think Ryan could have equally almost killed himself to make that weight, and then they both rehydrate to a more similar weight. But either way, just like people told Ryan that he can't make excuses when he lost to Tank Davis for accepting the rehydration clause as it was, people can't make the excuse for Devin Haney because he decided to go on with the fight and take the $1.5 million for the 3 pounds overweight. Anyways, but yeah, I'm really excited to see who he's gonna fight next. I'm really excited to see who Devin Haney's gonna fight next for his comeback fight, however long that's gonna be, probably like 6+ months from now. That was a pretty bad defeat, and we don't know if he broke his jaw or not. Of course, if he did, they're gonna try to hide that to make it not look like that bad of a defeat. But yeah, very, very good weekend for boxing this past weekend. Something that was very needed, because there's too many people ducking each other and fighting way too imbalanced fights. But, sorry. Back to the tech talk. 3 pounds is a lot. Dude, Ryan Garcia's what, 5'10", 5'11"? You trying to push that man to under 140 pounds? That's like a walking skeleton. I mean, I know he's done it in the past before, but it's still... He's, like... For his height and for his age range, he should be growing, not like stunting his weight. I am gonna watch the Canelo fight. I don't like watching Canelo fights because I feel like all his opponents he picks, it's way too favored towards him. He needs to pick like an actual... He needs to fight Benavidez, in my opinion. He needs to fight someone where there's actually more of a risk. I don't like watching fights in boxing where you already know 90% who's going to win the fight, unfortunately. So, that's my take on it. But, yeah. You should update your merch to include Intel. I want to do that. I've thought about doing that. But, it's really hard to fit a third mecha in here. I've been playing around with ideas of how to do that, because to have a Founders Edition Intel card on here too would be really cool. But I need to look at more poses of like three person fights, right? But I think that would be cool to include, because now we have the trifecta RGB, right? We got Team Red, Team Blue, Team Green, each with their own unique looking Founders Edition cards. Let me see. 3-person fight pose. Oh my god, Ginyu Force, heck yeah. I guess I could do a merch that's similar to this, but then that would mean that they're on their own team. Like, if we look at the merch that I have now, they're definitely facing each other, like going against each other. It would be hard to do a similar style to this merch with the third body. But if we do like something like this, where they're posing with each other, or I guess something like this too, where they're two people fighting and one person onlooking. I don't know. I've definitely thought about it though. Thanks for bringing it up again though. I have wanted to update the merch with an Intel like piece on it. Now that they're like legit now in the graphics card space, in my opinion. I may not recommend Intel graphics cards, but I'm using one that's pretty much been problem-free for the most part. And yeah, they're definitely a legit player in the space. After Bivol defeated Canelo, he's no longer the same. Yeah. I mean, he went up like so much weight for that fight. I don't know. And then Terrence Crawford's next fight too, I'm not too excited about. He's fighting someone that's 10-0, and I know record's not everything, but I think it's a safe tune-up fight for him, so I'm not too excited about that fight. Use ChatGPT? Dude, ChatGPT... If you get... Here, we can play with ChatGPT if you give me the prompt to put into ChatGPT to get a 3-person pose. Also, ChatGPT image generator. Is this free to use? Let me see. Oh, it requires ChatGPT Plus. I do have MidJourney. I can do a MidJourney prompt. Let me see. MidJourney. Where you at? Okay. What's up, Demon Mid? Victor sent more well-lit pictures. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay, so here's the specs. You got a Ryzen 7900 in your $3,500 build. Okay. B650 motherboard. Okay. Arctic 280 rad. Oh, and the price breakdown. Nice. Build fee. Oh, this is a build that you did for a customer? Look at that case. Look at the case in this invoice. Not an invoice, but this breakdown here. $800 CPU, $100 cooler, $70 for DDR5. Man, so cheap. Look at so many like sub $100 parts, and then you got the big $1,700 graphics card, $800 CPU, $350 worth of storage that was carried over. Nice. Okay. Thanks for saying the list of parts. That is much appreciated. But yeah, there's the isometric view of the case, and then Victor submitted better pictures of. There we go. Here's a nice picture, well lit, showing a pretty clean. This looks like next to your TV, with some IKEA cube shelf. Very clean build. Where we look at the P5, no, I haven't done the P520 stuff since I unboxed it, and I've been working on it on the side here. But no, that video is still delayed, unfortunately, because of me. But yeah. We have not yet. When I release that video, we could then do a follow-up stream with the P520, talking about it even more. Yeah, we were talking about cases, and then we kind of got sidetracked into people posting in what cases they have, and then this $3,500 build within the DIYPC Cube 1 case. Do I think what Mike Tyson is doing is a money grab? I don't know what to think about that. I mean, he seems pretty explosive, but he probably has no stamina. But, okay, no, let me take that back. Of course it's a money grab. It's a money grab, but people are wanting to see it, so everybody wins at the end of the day. Except for the sport of boxing, who you could say that it's a little bit embarrassing for the sport as a whole, but people will move on and forget about it. I mean, come on. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather happened like years ago, and I feel like most people already forgot that happened. So these little things that are disgraces to boxing, I don't think it lasts long. Boxing is a very much in the now type of sport, where people only care about what's going on now and like within the last plus or minus couple of months. So Mike Tyson's reputation, he's already done a bunch of other stuff to develop the reputation that he has, whether it be back when he was fighting or the things that he's done afterwards. So yeah, Tyson does have that. And where are they both gonna weigh in at? I haven't looked at the weight. Sorry, we're doing a lot of boxing talk this stream, or at least a decent amount more than we ever do because of the exciting fight that happened this weekend. But yeah. Here, hard to get 3 mechs in a decent picture. Let me try to do this real quick in MidJourney, and you guys can see it in real time. 3 mechs. Let's see, /prompt. 3 Gundams fighting each other. Boom. This is like the most simple prompt that I could give it, and then we can refine it after the fact. New Lance Party Stories when? I already said it wouldn't be coming out until like late May, mid or early June, I believe. And that's pretty quick. That's a pretty quick turnaround. That would be 3 months since we had the land in March. So now let's do some unboxing talk. I don't have anything to unbox, unfortunately. No. It'll be June 2024. I promise. Okay, here we go. 3 mechas. Oh, okay, let's take a look at this. Alright, so this is what they spit out for us. First of all, this one actually looks real. Wow, this is actually pretty good. 3 Gundams in a Mexican standoff. That's a good one. I'll try that one next. But look at this one. I don't know if I could tell... Let me look at the hands. The hands for a toy doesn't look bad. They keep on giving me 2. I guess there's technically 1 mech in the back here. And this is 2 fighting. This would be the one to do. Kind of. Okay. I could actually go with this one. Alright. So, let me pick version 1 and see how it refreshes it. Remix prompt. In a Mexican standoff. Let's see if we can do this. Boxing lost its reputation when it decided to have 8 different sanctioning bodies, all with their own titles. Yeah, that's kind of annoying how many belts there are. Also, it was like the ref did I think the ref did a pretty bad job, obviously, with like the point deduction on Ryan, as well as giving Haney way more time to recover than he should have gotten, calling 2 of the knockdowns a slip. But the judge that called that fight a 112-112 draw, oh my god, that person should be fired. But then here's the thing about boxing, stuff like that goes down all the time. Like when Loma got robbed, okay, maybe not robbed, but when I think he should have got the victory over Haney. But anyways, like, we will forget about that soon. We'll talk about it, like the robberies and things like that and the corruption, but then we just move on the next week or the next month to the next fight. Like, I don't know, it's been like that forever, so they're never gonna change it. The only way you get like an underdog to win is by like just straight up knockout. You gotta get a knockout. You can't go to decision ever, and we saw that this past weekend. But anyways, all right. These pictures refreshed. Oh, it came back worse. They're only giving me 2 mechas. This one has a 3rd one, but it's pretty bad. Yeah, this one, ugh. I think the easiest way to do this would be have a bigger green one. Yeah, so that was one of my ideas for having that for the merch. Was because both AMD and Intel are kind of the underdogs, right? They have the least market share in the graphics card space, and both of them kind of like looking towards NVIDIA, which is at the top in the middle, would also be ideal. But I don't know how I would explain that to the AI. Chat GPT prompt made in stream submissions. Alright, Demon Mick got a prompt. Stream submissions. Okay, here we go. And wow, we got a whole like legit paragraph here. This is just to get ideas, by the way, because obviously it would have to be animated and simplified, because you can't just print something with this much detail on a shirt and have it last long. It'll be a print, but then it'll like fade because of the way that they do these types of prints versus like line art. Yeah, this one lasts. Alright, but this is what Demon Mint wrote. Create an intense scene of 3 Gundam-style mechs engaged in a ferocious battle. Each mech should exhibit distinct features and weaponry, representing different factions or designs. The mechs should be dynamically posed with dramatic lighting and explosive effects to enhance the sense of action and chaos. Ensure the competition emphasizes the scale... Wait, what? Ensure that the composition emphasizes the scale and power of these towering machines as they clash in a futuristic battleground. That is a fat prompt. But let's take a look at what it came up with. This would actually work. Now, this is a... Let me see. Where's the other image? Not that one. Let me close some tabs. I've got like a million tabs open right now. Okay. So, this one would be more along the lines of the other pose that we saw. Like, something like this. Where there's like a leading figure and then 2 like background or backup ones. I kind of love this one because it's reminiscent of the Ginyu Force. But something like this would be... I think this is a top contender for the posing. And we'll have to change up the mechs to make it not copyright infringement, of course. And then for this one... I don't really like this one because... Like, this one's kind of just standing in the back. I kind of want you're either going to be fighting each other Mexican standoff style, or just kind of posing facing forward. Not this one where, like, one person's attacking, this guy's attacking random things, and this one's just standing in the background. How about this one? I mean, honestly... Okay, be honest. As much as everybody hates AI art and stuff, what are your guys' thoughts on, like, these images that these created? You know, ignore the fact that it maybe referenced or learned from artists and stuff like that. The fact that a machine could generate like an image like this, do you think these look good? Because a lot of the times when I see AI art posted in, like, you know, wherever, Reddit, Twitter, Discord, what I think was like, oh wow, that actually looks really good. People are always like, ugh, AI art, looks like garbage. You could clearly see that, you know, this is wrong with it. And to me, I'm just like, dude, am I just a mindless sheep? Because I think stuff like something like this, I think this looks pretty good. Now, scary AI art is a different... Oh, scary AI art? You mean like to come up with horror-themed stuff? Okay, I don't even want to look at that. It's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. It looks dope. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Tyron says, hey Danny, why no post for a long time? Always looking forward to your videos. Yeah, I took a little bit of a break from YouTube just because of the like lack of interesting things to do. I don't know. It's one of those things, like, I've been doing YouTube for over 8 years now. Unfortunately, there are times of burnout and there are times of disinterest, just like any other hobby or any other, like, job, depending on how you look at it, right? So, I just needed a break, but, I'm ready to come back and make long-form content again. It's just because I haven't made a long-form video in pretty much 2 months. A lot of my decisions when I'm like writing a script or trying to plan a video out, I'm second guessing it because I'm like rusty, so to speak. So yeah, the weekly streams are really easy because these are off the cuff. You know, aside from choosing what topics I want to talk about, except for like today, I didn't choose a specific topic. We're just going with wherever the chat takes it. So the streams are easier to do because it's definitely off the top, and we just go with the flow. YouTube Shorts, I already have like stuff recorded for it, so it's just editing. It's not actually like video planning. But that's the semi-short answer. I just needed a break. boys trip to Japan and film a bunch of content. I don't know. When I went to Japan last May, I failed to make content, even though I actively tried. I recorded stuff and then ended up never making a video about the trip to Japan or like any of my attempts to shop for PC hardware there. Also, it was a, you know, it was a trip for both me and Melissa, so I didn't want to like bring in the burden of YouTube work on top of the, you know, the trip that we were trying to enjoy, so that was pretty hard. Try not doing scripts. Okay, the thing about scripts is that they keep you on track. When I used to not do scripts, I would just like ramble on for forever. Like, and you can ask anybody who uses like a script versus going off the top, or even like using bullet points. It is super easy to go off topic, off track, and all that. A script keeps a video more concise so that you talk and you don't forget about what you want to talk about. You can plan ahead. If you try to go into recording a video off the top, you may actually miss out on important talking points that you wanted to for sure hit, and it's really hard to keep it condensed. Like, I'm not the type of content creator. I'm not Sam Solik, okay? I can't just make like a 60-minute video of me rambling on about whatever and people will watch it all the way through. Like, I gotta keep the videos within a reasonable amount of length. And if I don't go with a script, they'll go on forever and be like, they wouldn't be organized. There would be way more jump cuts, etc. So, yeah. Alright, so Demon Mitt submitted another prompt. Design, oh my goodness, look at this. Consider incorporating design wearable. Whoa, you think MidJourney is gonna be able to do that part about the t-shirt? Let me see this. I will be actually impressed. Okay, I'm gonna read this out. Design a captivating illustration in a line art style suitable for a t-shirt print, depicting 3 Gundam-style mechs engaging in a dramatic battle. The composition should feature one mech in predominantly blue, another in red, and a larger green mech. Position the blue and red mechs on either side of the green mech. Employ bold, clean lines to outline the shape of the mechs and their weaponry, ensuring clarity and impact. Use varying line weight to convey depth and detail, enhancing the dynamic nature of the scene. Consider incorporating dramatic poses and expressive gestures. Oh my god, it finished it. Let me finish reading this though. Dramatic poses and expressive gestures to convey the intensity of the conflict. Create a visually engaging composition that captures the scale and power of these mechanical giants while maintaining a stylish and wearable appeal for a t-shirt design. Oh my god, okay, let me see this. So, again, this is the type of pose where they're not fighting each other, but they're just all kind of like posed with each other. Which, again, I think this might be the style that we have to go. Or something like this, where you show the full pose with the green mech in the front. And, yeah, so it didn't completely follow the prompt on, like, this one, because the positioning was a little off. Something like this would be pretty cool, too. Like a more dynamic, like, action pose. Okay, so this one, I think you could tell is AI generated. Because what the heck is this thing coming through his legs? Like, there's a gun here randomly that's not attached to the blue mech's arm. Bro, do you even like Gundam? Lol. No, not Gundam, but I do like mechas, like giant mecha stuff, like Pacific Rim and stuff like that. So not specifically Gundam, but the idea of like a big gigantic mecha suit being controlled by a human inside, I do like. Yeah, I didn't watch like Gundam and any all that growing up. Yeah, I mean, these I think looks good. There's our flat. Our flat. Where have you been with the tech drama of the week? Okay, so in terms of the images, if I were to do it, and the thing is, I have to do like a mecha themed thing because it is like PC tech. I don't know, at least my mind is not creative enough to somehow make an image that shows a creative way of showing like each of the company's graphics cards. There might be a better way to do it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Like, using the graphics cards as weapons was my best shot at it when I made the original merch. So, yeah. The CEO's controls the mech. I did have an idea for an Attack on Titan shirt with each of the CEO's face as a giant, and then us as the customer as like a Survey Corps member. Did I just say giant? I meant Titan. Like, so it would be like a Titan version of Lisa Sue, and Jensen, and then I didn't decide on who the Intel person would be, but they would all be like Titan form, like, you know, the dumb looking Titans, not like a Titan shifter, looking at like an unknown gamer who's wearing like the Survey Corps cloak, as well as like having the 3D maneuver gear and their blades as like ram sticks and stuff like that. But I couldn't get that design to work, so. Did I ever play MechQuest back in the day? That was so cool. I did not, no. Parts are expensive in Japan. It's crazy in the Akihabara. Yeah, that's what I saw. I know Brian from Tekia City does like used part hunts and stuff. I tried doing part hunt using like different apps when I was in Japan, but the prices compared to the US, just it wasn't even comparable, so it wasn't worth picking up. Like, if you were someone who lived on the other side of the world and didn't have access to US parts, it would make sense to like pick up stuff like that. But in the short window that I had, I just didn't find any deals used or new in Japan, unfortunately. What is MechQuest? Is that like Adventure Quest? Oh my god. So I played Adventure Quest when I was younger in high school. This is the same from Artix Entertainment. Yeah, so I don't know much about MechQuest. I do know I don't even know much about Adventure Quest by this point. But yeah, for anyone who even knows these games, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this on stream before. Flash-based games, back before, like, I don't even know. Before I was able to buy a WoW subscription, before I had a good enough computer to play, like, more difficult to run games. Playing 2D Flash games here, but that had progression. Like, 2D Adventure Quest RPG, man. This is, yeah. Yo, that just unlocked the core memory of playing Adventure Quest. I know, right? I got my Adventure Quest guide like level 68 back in the day. I don't know what that even means with regards to, like, current progress. But, yeah. I don't even know, like, the way you found Adventure Quest was typing in online RPG game, and you would get these like MMO site or MMORPG.com curated lists, and this was actually rated pretty high. So if you were to rate from like highest rating to worst, you would have come across Adventure Quest. And then when you started playing it, you're like, oh, this is essentially a single player 2D flash based RPG. Yeah. And then Adventure Quest Worlds had the whole MMO aspect kind of to it. It was the multiplayer aspect. I wouldn't say it was MMO because, you know, MMO like means like hundreds if not thousands of players on the same map. But yeah. Demon Mitt submitted another one. Do you like write a bunch of do you do a lot of like AI image generation, or are you using a tool? Because I know there's there are tools, there are AI tools out there that help you generate a prompt for AI image generation, if that makes sense. Now, my question for DIYPC is, did you write this prompt completely by yourself, or did you use one of those tools to help? I'm not going to read this one out loud just because they're just getting longer and longer, but we'll take a look at what the images come up with. Adventure Quest and Neopets ate up so much of my time. I totally didn't play RuneScape for 15 years. Dude, RuneScape, I tried it after I played WoW. Obviously, at that point, it was too late. Really hard to get into it. Like, RuneScape is one of those games where if it was one of the first games you've ever played, you will stick by it for like the rest of your life probably. But if you had a better MMO experience prior to RuneScape, it's like game over. You just can't. Like, it would be impossible to get into it. Not impossible, but very difficult. Oh my god, you didn't write this. It's giving me prompts to ChatGPT. It's me giving prompts to ChatGPT to make the prompt and then refining it over a couple of times. Okay, shit. I figured. There's no way you would have written those that fast to that and use like those specific keywords. So it's interesting because I would say that these images, if you were to show this to someone and say, is this AI generated, or if this was created by an artist, it would be kind of hard to tell, right? I mean, like for this one, I guess you could look at, like, you can look at the fingers and be like, okay, that doesn't look like a hand. Aside from the hands though, everything else I think looks pretty good. This art style looks like that's fine. But, so I would say all these images, it would be harder to tell that this was AI generated. But, reading DIYPC's prompt, I would say it's way easier to tell that this was not human written. So the prompt, or writing, it, I guess for this one, it's specific because we're being specifically descriptive. I guess I've never used, or I haven't used AI to generate like a full-on essay. Because I'm not sure how much more difficult it would be to detect there. But yeah, I think the images, I mean, think about it. When did this become like really popular or widely available? We're only like a couple of years into this, right? At least to like the wide masses scale. Imagine what this looks like in the next year, in the next 2 years, the next 3 years. It probably, like, if we look at the curve, there was probably an exponential explosion in the progress, and it probably will, like, the curve is probably going to lie over in a little bit and level off, but still. Yeah, if you don't do Gundam and do mech or just robot based, because a lot of the companies, they used to like use a lot of robots and stuff in their images for like old school graphics card box. Like if you look at the older graphics card stuff, so yeah, they would have these more here. Where is my window? They would have like, you know, these kind of like mascots on the boxes, but there would be a fair amount of them that had like just like random like robots and mechs too. So using the imagery of not a Gundam specifically, but more of like a mecha or like a robot, that could work too. But yeah, I would need to think about it a little bit more. What? Okay, I don't remember. Okay, alright, let's take a look at this. This is a Reddit post. This person says GPU box art in the 90s was utterly crazy. Okay. GeForce 6200 palette GTS 250 in the 90s. The GTS 250 was not the 90s. That was straight up like 2008 or 9. Okay, here we go. Even the GeForce 256. Wouldn't this have, I don't know what year this would have been. DirectX 7? Yeah, I don't know if this was in the 90s. It might have been borderline. Here we go. Okay, yeah, and then we're getting into older stuff. Where's the one with the miners, though? Yeah, we don't have crazy GPU boxes like this. Here's a Radeon one, ATI rather, GeForce 6600. This one, this can't be real, can it? This is like more modern. A R9 290 a dual card. Let me look at this out. R9 290 times 2. What was that even? Then no, there's no way. The funny thing is that this is a troll, right? This is definitely a troll. This has to be a troll. I've never seen this box, but the thing is, I'm trying to look for signs of this being photoshopped. There's no way this was an actual box art. I'm trying to find other sources. This person snuck this in. I swear it. Yeah. I can't find any other image of a R9 290X2 box. What shadow? Well, dude, this one has the fake shadow too. Like look at it. It looks like, did they change it from... This is a pretty decent Photoshop job, though. Yeah, the thing about reverse image searching, though, copy image, okay. The thing about reverse image search, though, is, it's not always accurate, unfortunately, because this box is at an angle. Like, unless there's other boxes like this, which I guess this does look like a stock photo. It should come up. Alright, here we go. 0 searches. Alright, that's a fake image. But, let me try to find out some of these more realistic ones. Like, this one looks real. Yeah, okay. So, copy image. So, we can reverse image search this. And I'm almost willing to bet that we're not gonna find... Okay, I was wrong. Decent amount of these ones. Alright, let me see if I can find any other graphics card box. Here, this alien one. Yeah, so the other ones are clearly a fake. But, reverse image search. But you know what? It was slightly believable because it was nested in there. Yeah, this one even comes up with a bunch of, or not a bunch of, but a decent amount of sources. That minor one, I think, was just hilarious, though. The corners are too sharp. I mean, let's take a look at a different image that's, that might follow those signs of a fake image. This one, I mean, if you look at this image right here, I would say this is a real box. There's nothing like, you know, it's not like, there's nothing goofy about it. But, oh my god, gnomed. Gnome, what's up? How you doing, man? Thanks for the 50 gifted memberships to whoever is getting it. Let's see who is getting it. it's interesting because, again, this is all random. There's also no shading in it, but that's what I'm saying. Even an image like this has no shading. Here, I need to pull this up so you can see the bottom. If you look at the bottom here, open in a new... yeah, like if you look at this image, look, it's got like kind of like a an artifact from like bad Photoshop in that corner. This corner up here, yeah, look at the two panels, they like cross each other, this horizontal panel and this front face. But this is like an actual product box, and there's no shadows and there's things wrong with it, like the corners. So I don't think that that's necessarily a sign of something being 100% fake, because I would say this is like I'm pretty sure this is real. You linked the forum post about the box? Okay. Oh my goodness. This is gonna go on for a while. Let me know. Here, let me see the volume. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. We'll keep it a decent volume, but... First of all, Gnomed, how you doing? What's new in the world of Gnomed? And one of the questions I asked earlier, and I'll ask it again in case there's new people here, and for Gnomed. What has got you excited about the PC tech space recently? Because I and a couple of other people have said there's not much that's exciting as of late, which is again one of the reasons why I kind of took a break from making long form content. But I'm getting back on the horse. Not necessarily super excited about like new stuff. Like I'm excited to make the P520 video, and I'm excited to actually make other videos about older hardware. Like I got the GTX 960 in from one of the fans that sent it to my PO box. So I'm gonna make a video reviewing or revisiting the GTX 960. Stuff like that I'm more excited about than new tech coming out, unfortunately. I need to stop subbing so I can get some of that action from Gnomed. I know, right? I don't think it stacks, unfortunately, so yeah. If you stop subbing, I would not take it personal, because obviously it is an optional thing. Because, you know, I have like limited perks and stuff. You're enjoying your new 18-inch laptop. What laptop did you get? Is it a gaming laptop or like more of a like productivity work laptop? Alright, let's see where that post was. That minor... Oh, here, let me scroll down. NeoGAF Forum 2015. I had one of these pieces of crap. Gainward was had such weird names for the card. Like they named cards Ultra when they were stock clocks, etc. Gainward FX Power Pack. The days of posting what at the time this would be like a very high quality 3D rendering of an attractive woman on their boxes. FX 5200. The 5200, I believe this was my friend Martin from Land Party Stories. He bought a computer from like kind of like a little strip mall area called the BNI in Tacoma, Washington. It was a used computer, but when he bought this, he had one of the best computers of our friend group. And I remember distinctly he had an FX 5200 in his system. So this card brings back those fond memories. Okay, where is... I'm looking... Oh, here we go. Still some nice box art today. Okay. So this is where it originated from. See? How come reverse image search did not bring up this forum? Interesting, right? You got a gaming laptop. Nice. What are the specs? You gotta hit us with the specs, of course. Wait, you can't just leave without telling us the specs? If I had to guess, just knowing you, this would be like an RTX 4070 or 4080 laptop. But we'll see. What's up, Bertha Mac HD? How you doing? Speaking of Apocalypse, has anyone else seen the video of the contorting robot? Is that the one we brought up last week? The new, what's the, it wasn't really contorting, it was just able to flip itself around. The new Boston Dynamics robot, right? Is that what you're talking about? Or is there a different contorting robot? What up, Falco64? Yes, as Coolboxy is saying, we are looking at early 2000s GPU box art. Like... early 2000s and then maybe older ones and some troll ones. Here, let me go to the first page. See if we can find anything. This forum is horribly coded though. Like, click, okay, so that one, Voodoo... XFX. Remember we were talking about XFX making NVIDIA graphics cards? They made more beyond this one, but that's an interesting box. Also, these images are tiny. Here I am with no money and a broken PC while everyone else has the strongest PC available. Broken PC? What's wrong with your PC? Dude, okay. Not everybody has the strongest PC available. I would argue that most people in this chat probably have more modest PCs than super powerful PCs. And a decent amount of people in this chat probably have, like, used parts, secondhand, built PCs. So yeah, don't worry. Not everyone has the strongest PC, but having a broken PC does suck. But what's the issue with it? And usually with the broken PC, rarely have I come across a situation where multiple parts in a PC broke or, like, you know, have problems. It's usually a single component, which if you could troubleshoot and figure out what it is, it could be a fix that's like less than $100. Now, if you're like a kid in middle school with no job, then $100 is very tough to blow. Or, I guess if you have no disposable income and like your money's tied up to bills and stuff, that's very difficult. But, yeah, there's definitely, I mean, people, you could put together a PC for $300, $400, $500 that can run games decently well, modern games. So, that means fixing it should be a fraction of that cost. When is the lab video coming out? I think you mean LAN. June. Aim for June. You can watch it as the start of the summer break if you're in school. Hey Danny, just got done with the LAN this weekend. Okay, nice. Was a huge banger. Everything went really well, plus only one person couldn't make it. We played the finals because of you, Danny, and thanks for such a great little gem. The LAN party was the best. The finals is a pretty good LAN game because it gives private matchmaking. The only issue is, like when we did it, we had to run some games with a team missing 1 or 2 people. Like, so it would be like 3 on 3 on 3 on 3 on 2. or 3-on-3 versus 1. I wish they let you in the finals make teams, so then just do like everyone in teams of 2s or something, but that's not how it works. You just go into a lobby and then you have this, and you can't even choose your teams in the finals matchmaking, which is really annoying. Like it's based on first come first serve in the lobby, and then it puts your name on a list. Then it takes like the top 3, the next 3, the next 3, and then whoever's left over is their own team. So I know it's a free game, but I feel like something as basic as that should be implemented. But then again, I don't know how many players the finals actually has. Like, jokingly, it might be considered a dead game compared to some of the giants out there, like the Call of Duties, the Fortnites, etc., right? Like, it's either the CPU, motherboard, or the PSU that's broken. Yeah, oof, that's like the toughest one right there. So, if you had a computer, so imagine yourself, so a lot of us in the chat are like, you know, we're adults, we have paying jobs, we have disposable income, and we're like knowledgeable about computers. So a fix like this would be pretty easy. But put yourself in the shoes of, let's just say, I don't know, MGLR, I don't know how old you are, but I'm going to put it in like the worst case scenario possible of someone with this situation, right? Let's say you're like a 14-year-old, don't have a job, don't have a source of money, and this was your PC, and you had this problem. What could you realistically do? I mean, you're not going to have spare parts to like, switch one by one to try to troubleshoot it. Because you say it could be the power supply, CPU, or motherboard, I'm assuming when you try to power it on, you're not even getting any signs of like any lights or any any signs of booting or post. So, do you know of any family members or friends that have computers that might have? If they have a computer, they don't even need compatible parts, because at least you can try to swap over the power supply to see if the power supply is the issue. The CPU and motherboard is a more annoying problem because, one, the parts are more expensive. Like a power supply, you could just get, a used $40, $50 power supply that's probably 600-700 watt, put it in, test to see if it works. But don't spend money on it yet because you don't know if that's the problem. The CPU motherboard thing, it's harder to borrow parts because people could have parts ranging from however many years old on different platforms from either, Team Blue, Team Red. So you can't just like as easily ask a friend or family member, hey, can I test your CPU by itself? Can I test your motherboard by itself? Can we swap? So like, what in this situation, what do you do? Aside from replacing all 3 of those parts, which is expensive because they, again, said they were broke. Still in high school, family is struggling, got denied multiple jobs. Okay, yeah, so that kind of explains it. I'm trying to think. I don't know what my suggestion would be. Like, you could reach out to the easiest thing to do is obviously reach out to family members and friends. But if that is not an option because maybe nobody in your life is into computers, the next option would be like going on Reddit hardware swap or build a PC sales or just any kind of PC community and try to find if there are people in your area who are willing to help. Like, to be able to locally meet up and help you swap parts to troubleshoot. I hesitate to say go to a local mom and pop repair shop or Best Buy because usually those places are already going to charge you for looking at it and potentially diagnosing it. And the amount they would likely charge you would be like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 bucks. And that's enough to already buy a new power supply. and they're not going to give you replacement parts. So yeah, that's a tough one. Your PC was built by someone else who used 12-year-old components. We're talking about like Sandy Bridge era parts. Yeah, I mean, at that part, I don't know if it's worth... Well, at that part, that means it's cheap to fix. $50 is generous, is from what I heard about Geek Squad. You think they would charge more than $50 just to look at your PC? I don't think... Like, Geek Squad has a bad reputation. I don't think they're that bad. Yeah, so... MGLR, it sounds like your computer is already not that, like, modern to begin with. So replacement parts actually might be pretty cheap. Like CPUs, probably 50 bucks or less. Motherboards, less than 50 bucks. And then power supply, yeah, aim for 50 bucks or less. When I worked for a mom and pop shop, we charged 80 bucks labor to fix it. That was 2018. We would look at it and determine what's wrong, call, and give you a cost to fix. Yeah, but would you look at it for free? If anything, I would think that doing a quick look at it, if I was like a business, I would probably do that for free. Because it doesn't take that much time, and that potentially opens the door to new customers coming to you. Because if you already charge just to take a look at something, people might not even want to take their PC to your shop to begin with and go elsewhere. But doing that for free, you know, it might take 5, 10, 15 minutes to determine what's up. Then you could work towards a path to fixing it. But yeah, we would look at it for free. Okay. If it could be fixed in less than 5 minutes on the front of the desk, that was free too. I would probably do that as well. Like if I owned a business that did PC repair, like just getting into making a lifelong customer or getting referrals for 5, 10, 15 minutes worth of work, that would be totally worth it. And by fix, I mean like there's a lot of things that you could fix on a computer without using resources or that much time. Like moving parts around, because a lot of people who aren't as familiar with computers, they're even afraid to touch or remove components. So if you're able to do that, maybe switch some connectors around, replace a SATA cable that went bad, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, I think doing that for free makes sense. Like a person forgot their laptop password, wiping the password was free law. Just toss in a tool, wipe the password, run it, then boom, fix, yeah. Just beg your favorite content creators. That, I think, that worked with Linus, right? Didn't Linus do a video recently? I have not watched that yet, but, or did he even do a video on it? Was it like a Twitter or a Reddit post? Someone asked for every day for 200 and something days or something like that for a PC from Linus, and then he's gonna give it to them, or has he already given it to them? They need to change the front panel connectors going to the motherboard, the small ones. That's on the case manufacturer, in my opinion. The case manufacturers need to just make one solid block that just plugs in. Some of them do that. Some of them actually have tools that also combine all the connectors to go in one block. There's like niche use cases where you wouldn't want to do that. But for the most part, I'd say like 99% of the people out there would want all the front panel connectors just to be one single block that you plug in just as you would the HD audio or the USB 2 connector. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up on the chat here. Salty Gamings says, Dan, I need to talk to you about Arc Intel and 7000 AMD GPU and 7000 series AMD GPUs. How do they do for streaming on Twitch AV1? I guess what question do you have about it? Between the two, how much do you have to spend? Are you looking for about a $300-ish graphics card? Both of them would work fine, and you want to do this for Twitch streaming? If you want to really get into the numbers about image quality, definitely check out, you should look at EPOS Box's, the numbers that he did on it. But yeah, when I checked it out, it was pretty much to see if AV1 worked and to see if the image quality was like passable. But he actually runs it through software that takes a look at the encoding, and it's actually able to pretty much like scan it to see like pixel by pixel which image quality is better. Off the top of my head, I couldn't make a recommendation solely on AV1, though. For, I don't know, like I would assume you would be a hobbyist streamer. For hobbyist streamers who are more primarily gamers, I don't know if I would put as much of an emphasis on AV1 or encoding capabilities as the top reason you would buy a card over their performance. Like, what do you do more? Are you more of a gamer or more of a streamer? How is streaming on the new 7000 series AMD GPUs? The AMD, whether you use the hardware encoder on AMD or if you switch it specifically to AV1, they're fine. They were fine on the 6000 series GPUs. I've streamed both gameplay and these weekly streams on it, and I did plenty of in-game recording with the built-in encoder. They're fine. I wouldn't consider Arc GPU specifically for their AV1 capabilities, or I guess for their performance in general. Also, I would take a look at what's available in the used market for AMD before looking at Intel. AMD has the benefit of having a higher adoption rate than Intel graphics cards, which means a higher turnover into the used market when people decide to upgrade. Then, I guess with the 7000 series GPUs, that I still think that's more true. There are people who probably bought like 7700 XTs and decided it's not enough power and upgraded. So the used market probably has more of those than even Intel Arc cards. A 37, and here's the thing too, like, do you really need AV1 specifically? I guess if you are in a situation where you have limited like data caps on your internet plan, or if you're from, like, some people are from countries that just has crap internet, right? So streaming with AV1 is actually important because for the same image quality, it is less data going to and from. But if you're like in the States and you have good like broadband internet, then it's less important, and you can just use like, what's the AMD encoder's name? That or NBank without AV1. On my 6700 non-XT looks so bad compared to the RTX encoder. Are you using the same settings? Well, actually, they all have different settings in OBS depending on what card you put in. But part of the stream quality equation is on hardware, but the other part, you could argue heavily, is on what settings you're using in OBS. Yeah, 7000 series AMD is R81 capable. Yeah, $500 cash. I can get a 3080. What you think, a 4070? Well, with $500 cash, you can get a 3080 and then pocket, like, what were 3080s going for again? You would be getting a used one because the new ones are that wouldn't be worth it. You can get working condition 3080s, or you can get the HP OEM one for $325. Parts only. Yeah, so for any like $350, $345. They're not. They wouldn't be in the same category of parts. You got a PNY 3080 12GB for $250. That is an amazing price. But yeah, you're talking about a card that's easily found at $350-ish. Yeah, there's multiple options here. $350, but they're all the same OEM card. But this one here is an Asus. Here's a Zotac one for a little bit more than $350. So we're talking about a $150 price difference here. You have $500 to spend. If you're looking to spend all of it, then I don't know. It sounds like you are valuing the streaming quality and capabilities more than you are valuing how powerful the card is. People were streaming on 3000 series NVIDIA cards with no problems. Like, I don't think their audience had complaints about the quality or anything like that. And you could save quite a bit of money. Now, the 4070 is more powerful than the 3080 by a little bit. But I don't know if it's worth spending $150+ because you have to buy it new versus getting a good used 3080. You trust used GPUs? Why wouldn't I? If you're buying new, then do not get a 3080. Just get the 4070. How much are 3080s brand new nowadays? Can you even... What's that price looking like? There's no way this has dropped to a level that it's worth it. RTX 3080. Yeah, first, they're getting harder to find, it looks like. So they are going to be around $500. Yep, the cheapest one is $471 on Amazon, it's looking like. Yeah, if you're buying new, do not get the 3080. I think that just... Also, if you're buying new, you wouldn't be considering the Intel Arc cards because the performance, streaming aside, like just the raw power and performance isn't even on the same level as these cards. So you have $500, pick... Well, you can pick either the, 7700 XT or the 4070. It's up to you. No, you be getting the 7800 XT. Sorry, 7700 XT is $450 with taxes, $500. But yeah, yeah, the 4070 would beat it. And then if you had a little more, but it sounds like you pre 500 is The 4070 Super is still $600. What prices we got on these? Yeah, 600. Not much cheaper than that. Yes, because I had an AMD card that doesn't run good on streams, but maybe a bad card. 6700 non-X. So bad, I got bad used GPU. Oh, so you bought it used already. Maybe that's why you... I think that makes sense. If you got burnt by buying like used parts before, you would be hesitant to buy it again. Which I'm not going to knock people for. But yeah, so, I mean, it looks like you have a hesitancy towards AMD cards and used. With $500, you're like pigeonholed into a 4070. I don't think the used market is looking too good for 4000 series cards, but it doesn't sound like you're interested in used anyways. $4070 Super would be over their budget of $500. I'd be afraid of someone scamming me. If you're meeting in person, the likelihood of a scam goes way down. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, that people will meet up face to face with you and scam you, but the chances are a lot less than trying to buy something from, say, Facebook Marketplace or OfferUp online or something. eBay is pretty safe because you have buyer protection, but yeah. Or buy an A310 for $100 as a dedicated streaming and coding card. Yeah, assuming that your build, I don't know what form factor you have, if you're ITX, micro ATX, but if you have the extra slot on your motherboard, you could go with the secondary graphics card option. Though, I don't know, like, are you also looking for a graphics card update though, or are you happy with your 6700's gaming performance, streaming aside? So yeah, depending on if it could actually even fit in your build, if you're happy with the gaming performance, this is actually a pretty good option. Yeah, I don't often hear of people wanting to update graphics cards solely for streaming purposes. Usually, people upgrade because of like the raw performance. You were thinking about getting a 2080 used and an ARC, a $100 GPU for encoding. A 2080, how's the 2080 gonna compare though to your 6700 is the question. We could actually look that up right now. I don't know off the top of my head, but we could quickly look. I'm sure there's someone who did a comparison with it. 6700 XT, that's not what I want to look at. Okay, maybe there's less comparisons of 6700s. Unfortunately. Yeah, dang. Everyone, there's only 6700 XT comparison videos. They could go for the 6900 XT at $500 if they are patient. $6,900 XT. Let's quickly look at. Let's see. Tom's GPU hierarchy, which has been updated. It looks like 6900 non-60. Not a 6950 XT. Okay, the zoom on this is kind of broken. But we're looking at, so 4070, 6900 XT, within ballpark of each other. 7800 XT. I think 7800 XT would be the play at $500. Oh, and to look back at this, yeah, if you wanted to go to a 2080, we're looking at right here, versus a 6700. I mean, we could look at different resolutions too. Let's look at 1440 Ultra. We're looking at 6700 performance. Is basically on par with the 2080. The used one that I got was messed up. It was a miner card. There's nothing wrong with mining cards. A fair number of my friends and family have mining cards because it was a cheap way to get their PCs built, and they're running them with no issues. Oh, what the hell? One second. Someone's at the door, I think. Oh, did you guys hear any of that conversation at all? It was, dude, I need that no solicitation sign like right now. It was a local company trying to redo our roof, and usually they knock, and if you don't answer, they'll just go away. But this person did not go away. And then when I told them I wasn't interested, I could have said I'm not interested, close the door, but I feel like that's rude. So I told them, like, I'm not interested. I already talked to a bunch of other companies. We're not trying to redo our roof anytime soon. I don't know, is there training on how to be like super, how do I say it, like persistent? The nope, sorry, close the door. So for some, I can't get myself to do that. Like, I've never done that to a door-to-door for, like, you know, this was a roofing and like exterior contractor for houses and stuff like that. Next time, say you already hired someone. Yeah, you're right. They are being rude from knocking on your... It is 7 p.m. and this is pretty late. Huh, that's a little sketch. Why are they going around at... let me look up this company. So one of the issues with the door-to-door thing too, and you know, as you see more stories on whatever the heck, or like news stories, like sometimes people use that as a front to scope out or stake out houses or whatever to see if anybody's home, and they'll buy like fake high visibility vests just walk around with clipboards and stuff, and they're not actually working for anybody. They're trying to scope your house so they can break in and steal stuff, right? And rob you. I wouldn't say this is the case because I recognized the company on the vest that he had. They already talked to me before. But yeah, going around at 7 p.m. is kind of sus. Door-to-door scammers making money? Yeah, the whole door-to-door thing, like, bro, if I'm looking for a new roof, I'm going to be reaching out to companies, not getting whoever the heck knocked on my door to do the job. Tablet clipboard equals bye-bye. Yeah. I see a high-vis vest or a clipboard on the doorbell camera. That's a no answer no matter what. Yeah. Well, not only did he ring it, he also started knocking. So I didn't pull out my phone and pull up the app and stuff because, you know, that takes like an extra 5 to 10 seconds to do. The way that he knocked on the door, it seemed like it was one of my neighbors or something, or like there's something going on outside. Which, one of my fears is like, I don't know, the e-brake in my car going out and then my car rolling into the middle of the street or something. I've had that happen, not on my current car, but when we used to live in an apartment, back when I was in high school, the car that I had, the e-brake was a little like, it wasn't fully engaged. It was like, you know, it applied the brakes kind of soft. So one time my car rolled out of the apartment complex parking slot, like right into the middle of the road. So that's been like this irrational fear of mine of any car I had after the fact. So the way that he was knocking, I thought something was going on that warranted my attention, but no, it was a door-to-door salesman. Gotta hit him with the no habla inglés. Yeah, you're right. They are trained to not take no for an answer. Yes, that's their job. Just saying no and closing the door helps them and you. They can move on and you don't get bothered. That's true. Yeah, I need to stop being so, like, polite. They work by commission and they're going to be persistent. Yeah. The more... Because what they always do is, the people that knock on your doors, they're just like the grunts, right? They don't actually do anything except set up meetings. Because then they have someone... Dude, I've been through the spiel. Have y'all gone through the spiel of these companies? Maybe I've only gone through it because I'm too nice and don't say no. But what they do is they want to set up an appointment. Not only do they want to set up an appointment, but if you have a significant other, or, you know, in the house, for me, my wife, they're like, oh, when's the time that works well for you and your wife? Because they know that one of the tactics for someone like me to say, oh, we're not interested is, or to say, you know, to make an excuse is, oh, I gotta check with my wife, or like, my wife doesn't agree. So they want you and your wife to sit down so that they can get both of you at the same time with their sales tactics. It's annoying, and you can tell that I know so much about it because I've sat through too many of those appointments that they want to set up. When our roof was leaking, we got one of the companies from a local home improvement magazines, and they were big time scammers. Started at $12K. Yeah, and a lot of these companies, they quote you for like a low amount initially until you sit down. And then they break down like, okay, you know that low quote that we gave you? That's actually for the garbage stuff that's only going to last, you know, maybe 10 to 15 years. You're going to want at least this line of product, which has this guarantee, this workmanship guarantee, as well as guarantee on the materials for, you know, 30 years. Plus, if you buy the extended warranty package, your roof will be safe for 50 years or something like that. It's crazy. When we get our roof done, hopefully we go through, because Melissa's dad is an electrician, but, you know, contractors like that, they all have their group of friends and stuff that they work together. So hopefully we have someone that can cut us not only a deal, but that we know can do a good job. I guess not caring about what the door-to-door salespeople think is my toxic trait. Ignore them at all costs. I need like the little, imaginary devil Jason on my shoulder every time I open the door to say, shut the door! Tell them to shove it and shut the door. Because, yeah, I'm way too polite. Do you use solar? No, we don't have solar. But I'll tell you that we have had solar door-to-door people come by, try to sell us on solar. And I did set up a meeting with them, though it was through WebEx and not like an in-person meeting. But yeah, dude, solar to me, I mean, I live in Washington. We get like only so much sunshine throughout the year. But also, the cost of solar tech is just getting cheaper and cheaper, that by the time I want to pull the trigger, it'll be so much like people who got solar invested in it like 10, 20 years ago, for the cost savings for the, because the buyback program from the electricity companies and stuff like that, had they waited 10 to 15 years, all that money that they would have theoretically saved, they could have had the newer, better tech now and paid a lower cost than the quote-unquote savings of... Because electricity in Washington anyway is like dirt cheap. Like, our electricity bill is so inexpensive every single year. The cost of what solar used to be 10, 15 years ago was way more than it is now. So yeah, I don't know. That's my spiel about not door-to-door salesmen, home improvement people, and contractors. Yeah. Bro, it's not the devil. They are trying to monetize you by disturbing you. Ignoring them is the angle. You're right, you're right, you're right. And do you say the same thing about religious people who knock on your door? Oh, here's a question. What's worse? A contractor, a door-to-door contractor, or a door-to-door... And I'm not going to say any specific religion, but, I've had multiple religions knock on my door. The most recent one was probably around Easter, trying to give me a pamphlet. Not preachers. I mean, the most common ones are that I've had at my doors, is probably the top one were like Mormons, and then Jehovah's Witness, and then I've had whatever sect of Christianity knock on my door. But what would you guys say is worse? Like, who would you rather not see? I don't answer my door. I bet you're one of those people who have to answer. I only answer my phone if it's someone I know. I don't answer unknown numbers. What I do is I look up the number, and half the time it's like, scam robocallers. But yeah. Anyone who knocks on my door tries to sell me something, be it solar, religion, petition, they are coming to where I sleep to try to bother me. Man, Jason has a strong opinion on this. I like this. I need to pick up on some of these thoughts so that I could feel the same way and not answer the door. Why do you answer unknown? So that's the thing for me. Kind of like how I feel with in-person. Let's relate this to like picking up PC hardware, whether it be in person or online, right? I have much more faith in people face to face, that it is not going to be a scam, and that I'm getting what I want when I meet someone up in person, as opposed to if I try to buy something over the phone or online. So I think that's the same thought process. Someone who is knocking on my door, it used to be that there's a higher chance of it being like legitimately a neighbor or someone saying, oh hey, your lawn's on fire, or something like that. Or sometimes it's like the utility people who need access to like my side gate or something. So I feel like having the balls to knock on the door and stand there for someone to open the door, there's already a higher chance of it being legit, but apparently that's not the case anymore with all these door-to-door salesmen. Yeah, so this is what everyone was saying. People are knocking on the door at 7 p.m. for a sale are possibly scoping. I mean, they could be scoping the area, or they could be just working a late day. Let me see. HPH. High Performance Homes was the company. Here, we could actually look at them. So this was the company. The dude had an HPH vest. Their Yelp score is like a 3.2. I bet people are complaining about Better Business Bureau. 2.2 out of 2.5. Probably a bunch of complaints about people knocking on doors, if I can pull any of the reviews out. Yeah, this was the company. Had high performance come to my property, quote a new roof salesman when the attic stepped through the drywall, leaving a massive hole in my ceiling. Okay, where's the door-to-door? Oh, just like last year, we have a sign on the door that says no solicitation. They still rang the doorbell and left a card. Huh, yeah. Sounds like a familiar story. Imagine getting a pre-built house SMH. Bro, I bought a used house, okay? I bought a used house. Getting something pre-built, if it's used, I think is more acceptable. I had a home invasion here, and they managed to open the back sliding door and thought no one was home, but I was upstairs. If they would have forced open the bedroom door, bad stuff would have happened. Yeah. Wait, Danny, you didn't build your own house? Wow, I bet your power grid is F tier. These house to PC puns or correlations is pretty funny. Dude, no, Washington State probably B tier power grid, or at least where I live. Very low outages, very high efficiency, very efficient cost per dollar, wattage, kilowatt hours per dollar. Very good. But yeah, about this one, so you had a home invasion. Did they take your stuff? So I forget, like, some of you guys probably know because I've talked about it before in like either LAN party stories or the streams. But I'm not gonna call it PTSD because that would be a disservice to people who actually have PTSD. But like I do have like night terrors. For any little sound I hear in the middle of the night, ever since we did have a home, not a home invasion, it was more like a home robbery. Like about a decade ago, actually, the home that I was living in with my post-college roommates and friends, while we were all out working, we got broken into, and all of us had stuff stolen. So ever since then, like, the way that I treat my home and the way that, you know, I treat it as like where I live, my fortress, like where my family is and stuff like that, I'm super paranoid about like everything. So like in the middle of the night, if I hear like the slightest noise that is something, usually it's like the house noises, right? Like creaking, whatever the heck, it wakes me up. Like, I jolt up, like, fully adrenaline, ready to, like, go downstairs and check it out. And, it freaks Melissa out a lot of times. So, yeah. My home was burglarized to over 10 years ago, too, and it's very unnerving. Yeah, like, for me, that's why I'm so paranoid about, like, everything. It just takes happening once. We're losing gas. Wait, Ben, I forget. You're Washington too? Tacoma? Yeah. We're not actually losing gas, are we, in Washington State? I think there's been more of a push towards newly constructed homes having, like, more electric. But I think homes that are like grandfathered in that already has gas appliances, I mean, they're probably not making it any, they're giving more incentives for like electric based appliances, but I don't feel like I'm gonna ever like be losing my gas line in my lifetime anyways. Citrus with the heart emoji, member for 22 months. Thanks, Citrus. How you doing? Long time no see. I hate induction stoves. Yeah, our gas stove is pretty nice. And gas is really cheap, too. Our gas bill is, like, always, like, sub $100. And the gas is used to heat our water heater, do our stove, and I think that's it now. It used to be our furnace, but we went to heat pump, so that's, like, fully electric now. But, yeah. We're losing gas cars. Inslee signed a bill. I need to look into that more. But, I mean, next car that we get is probably going to be fully electric. But, that's not anytime soon necessary. We have two cars that would probably last. My car probably easily the next 5 years. Melissa's car easily 10 years. Yes, Gnome did gift 50 subs. That's still up there? Jeez. Yeah, that's only halfway through the bar, too. We are coming up near the end of stream now. So... yeah, we have about 10 minutes left of stream. We've just been talking. I mean, last thing we were... not this. We were trying to help pick a graphics card for someone. But, yeah. Just hanging out talking... talking small talk now. Yeah, for the hybrid, I like the thought of an electric hybrid. I need to do more research with regards to, especially since some of them haven't been out for long enough, for like what happens with either the battery degradation or just like specifically plug-in electric hybrid maintenance costs for the stuff that can't easily be done by, like, you know, by yourself at home, like a, you know, quick oil change or any of the other quick like changing like whatever filters you need, things like that. But the plug-in hybrid thing would be nice because we have a garage. Like, we could make use of it. I understand people not wanting plug-in hybrid because, you know, they might be living in like a townhome or like an apartment situation where you don't have like the protection of a garage to plug in your stuff and it still being there the next day without, you know, either being stolen or like sliced or whatever. But we do also do enough short commutes where it would be nice to just run it on all electric if we wanted to. And then if we do longer trips, you know, do the gas. Salty Gaming says, my home was broken into 4 times, had dope fiends living next door. He came through my window and took cash off my brother's TV. Yeah. I mean, we live in a relatively safe neighborhood and a relatively safe area here. Much safer, I would say, than when I used to live like in the heart of Seattle. But there have been actual stories within like a mile or two of me of home invasion, tied up with a gun pointed to head type stuff. So that's the stuff that freaks me out, which is why I want to like make it as hard as possible for someone to try to get into the house. It's not even about being an introvert or an extrovert going to a gas station. It's just pure laziness, plus also touching, like, you don't know, dude, those gas pumps and stuff like that. I'm not a germaphobe, but that would be one thing that I think Nick would hate about going to the gas station. Having to just use, you know, touch a gas pump that anyone could have touched. But, yeah, just the act of filling gas is one of my biggest, like, small complaint pet peeve type things, like first world problems. Like, yes, I have a car, I can afford gas, but of the things that I really dislike doing, pumping gas every week or two, depending on how much we drive, is like one of my worst things. Can you give your actual address in case you want to build a house in a good neighborhood in your area? If you want a good neighborhood, you can go to Bellevue, Washington. The homes there might be in the $1 million+ range, but I think they have like the highest like safety rating or whatever, lowest crime rate in the area, anyways. Aside from Mercer Island, which would be in the multi-million-dollar homes. It's just too expensive. I gotta drive a car the size of a go-kart to make it make sense, or a Toyota Yaris. I have a 10-gallon tank. Gas right now is like anywhere from $4.50 to $5. So yeah, a fill-up is around $40 to $50. Is it Washington where they only allow the gas station? No, that was Oregon. But I went to Oregon recently, within the last couple of months, and I pumped my own gas. Anyone here from Oregon? Did they take away the gas thing? Like, can you pump your own gas at all gas stations in Oregon now? I remember growing up that was a thing. But yeah, Woodinville is also pretty nice. I mean, I'm just barely north of Woodinville and Linwood. Everything in Seattle is just getting expensive though. Like, even if you wanted to live in like a crappy neighborhood in Seattle, the houses, well, it's because you're in Seattle, but even Tacoma, which for the longest time I thought the housing prices were ridiculously low compared to Seattle, is getting expensive too. AI takes more jobs. Imagine a robotic gas attendant. Hey, the Boston Dynamics robot. I wonder if it has the, like, if it's the hands and the joints are, would be able to do something like pump gas. Because there is a lot of intricate movements that's required to pump gas. Like, you gotta flip your little gasoline door open. You gotta apply a decent amount of force to undo your gas cap. You gotta like pick up the nozzle. You know what? If the Boston Dynamics robot can take the gas pump, not only start pumping the gas, but flip the little switch to keep the pump going with your hands off of it, that would be impressive. Someone still gotta fix the robots. Yeah, when they go down. Yeah. Wouldn't that spark if a robot is filling up the gas in your car? They could just line the entire robot with a silicone coating. Silicone outer coating, so that it's kind of like a human being. I remember the video where the robot started to exhaust in the middle of the work. Isn't that... You mean the one that started like leaking oil or whatever? Isn't that used as like an art piece now? Showing that even robots, quote unquote, get tired or like require maintenance and can break down similar to a human. If you're talking about that same robot that I'm thinking of, it's not like a you know, like a human shaped robot. It's just like a mechanical arm type robot. Washington has no sales tax, or is that Oregon? No. Washington has sales tax. It is quite high. Oregon is the one that has no sales tax. Like, if we were to look at the state sales tax image, 2022, Washington is 9.29. Who's got the highest? Are we the highest in the nation? No, Louisiana, 9.55. Okay, Arkansas, okay. Funny. Alabama, 9.24. So we aren't the highest, but we are among the highest. Look at Oregon. Oh, I guess some of these other states too. It's funny, I was watching Total Recall again, and the automated taxi exists now, except without the robot taxi driver. And in some cities, people are setting these robot taxi cars on fire, aren't they? I do not only tip Asian waiters. I tip all waiters the same, which is too much, because I would rather have all the costs be incorporated into the cost of their goods or their menu items already. Make everybody pay the same amount. Don't let the non-tippers get away for not tipping and then having the rest of the people to carry their weight. If I could live anywhere in the U.S., what would be the best state? That I couldn't answer that. I haven't lived in enough states or know about the details of all the states to choose. I've only ever lived in California and Washington my entire life, so I visited other states, but that doesn't mean I've gained enough knowledge to know what the pros and cons are of living there. Washington, you know what? It would be too much of a pain and a hassle to move, so I'm happy here in Washington. Like, yeah. Isn't that how insurance works? Yeah, that's true. I was reading this thread about someone complaining about insurance recently, and it is a system meant for everyone to pay into, but only some people reap the benefits, unfortunately. Because I think the thread was about how it was someone like got a ticket for not having insurance, and they said it would be cheaper for them to not have insurance, like the money that they would save from paying insurance premiums, just to pay the ticket on the off chance that they get caught every once in a while, than to continually pay insurance payments. But they're not taking to the fact that if they do get into an accident, they are royally screwed. Not just from, you know, it being illegal to not have insurance, but the damages that they have potentially caused. That's why insurance is there. But yeah, I mean, I get the argument. I think most people hate tipping. Again, I think I mentioned it before on stream. I have never not tipped at a restaurant. I've just tipped less when the service wasn't as good, but I can't even think of how much that tip was that time, or the few times that I had like just straight horrible service. I've never written 0 on the tip line. It must have been closer to like 8 to 10% or something, instead of the usual 15 to 18. Yeah, I think most people would prefer higher price menu. But then there's the argument of like, but what about the people who can't afford the higher price item? They were the people who probably couldn't tip because they couldn't afford to tip. And then do you get into the argument of, well, is eating out a luxury, or should everyone be able to eat out? Like, classism, ugh. It's, yeah. I write cash on the receipt and leave no cash. Wow. I dislike it when there's no service and you're still asked to tip. Yeah. Kind of like when you go pick up to-go stuff and they ask for a tip. Like, bro, I'm not sitting in your establishment. I'm paying for the goods that you have created and I'm going home to eat it. You're not busting my table. You're not coming to refill my water. You're not coming to make sure I have everything, or if I wanted to order more. I mean, you could argue that you should tip for the cook, because people tip like the front wait staff versus the cook separately, but then just incorporate it into the menu price, please. Yes, this is a good point. I do find myself in the weeds of Reddit from time to time, randomly late at night when I'm just, you know, doom scrolling. And I have seen, like, anytime this topic comes up, there are a lot of people who do work in the restaurant industry that if they had to choose from making a normal wage with no tips versus making below minimum wage, which is how the system works now, and making a tip, they would prefer the tip system because in some of these restaurants, people are getting tipped so much that they are well above minimum or average wage. So that kind of, I mean, yeah, it's tough. Do you tip pizza when you pick it up? I think the last time I picked up Domino's, I did leave a tip. I think I did. I'm kind of ashamed because now I'm thinking about it, why did I leave a tip? I did the delivery. I drove to them and picked it up. And I left a tip there's not even like a quote-unquote head chef or something. I mean, there are people making the pizzas, but like, it's not like it's a high-quality restaurant. What am I tipping Domino's for when I go pick it up? I'm kind of embarrassed by it. I think it depends on who I'm with. If I'm with other people, like, I'm trying to think. We'll see in the LAN party stores video, because we did go pick up pizza there. And I don't know if I recorded it or not, but like, if I'm with other people who also hate tipping, we could probably convince ourselves to not tip. But if I'm going alone, I'm usually a pushover and then I end up tipping. I want a world where there are no waiters. They're not required. Just put out all the condiments and drinks and I'll grab for myself. Have the... germaphobes would not like that world, Jason. Where all the condiments and stuff are just sitting there and people... Yeah. And also people who can't, like, control themselves. Like, they'll just get way too much condiments and put it to waste. There are negatives to that world. Let's just say that. But I agree with you. If they could get rid of waiters and get rid of tipping, I would be all for that. Just having all the condiments in an open bar, though, I've been to restaurants like that, and usually it is pretty nice, but there are some cons to it. The waiter can just learn to code, bro. Didn't we reach a point where there was too many waiters, there's too many people like trying to get coding jobs? I know, so I have a couple of people that I know that did the whole, either people that I know or people that I know through others, and I've heard that like they went through the whole code academy thing, right, where it's like the boot camps for learning how to code quickly, and I would say the success rate on that has been not as high as you would hope for. It's probably closer to like 30 to 40% success rate of people getting and maintaining the coding jobs from those boot camps, as opposed to, I don't know, traditionally getting a coding degree, whatever. They prefer someone in the back secretly to touch their food. I mean, you're assuming the people in the back are following the rules and washing their hands, but I guess you have a point. I mean, just probability-wise, that's only one set of hands, because people who prepare it and put it out, there's always going to be someone preparing the food in the back, but do you add another layer of uncertainty with having it put into like a public bar for everyone else to also touch? So in one situation, there's potentially only one dirty person touching your food or condiments, and the other one is there's two people, which is doubling the chances. And if anything, strangers versus restaurant workers might have a higher probability of being disgusting and not washing their hands after using the restroom, which the sign clearly states employees must wash their hands before returning to work. Whether or not people abide by that, I don't know. Why not full transparency? Put all the cooks in the middle of the restaurant where we can all see and they are surrounded by condiments and drinks and stuff. Perfection. That's like those sushi restaurants with the conveyor belts where they have the actual sushi chefs in the middle. You can see them prepping all the rolls and stuff like that. But that probably won't work for every type of restaurant. Wait, Boston Dynamics waitstaff is beyond the marginal cost expenditures of restaurants, but the industrial vision with armed models on tractor belt delivery possible. Wait. Is Boston Dynamics, do they actually have something with the restaurant going on? Or are you saying this like as a hypothetical? Oh, this is actually a real thing. We're not going to get into this now because it's the end of stream. Robotic kitchen at Spice in Boston. Is this what it is? Boston restaurant where robots have replaced the chefs? Huh. Spice restaurant opens with robotic kitchen ready to serve. I mean, I know, like, they tried that with the McDonald's too, right? Like McDonald's already got rid of like people taking your orders. They have like the kiosks now. But I think there was only like at a handful or even one restaurant where they even got rid of the people prepping the food. Like it was all robotics making the burgers and chicken sandwiches and stuff like that. I haven't followed on how successful that was, but yeah, interesting nonetheless. Oh yeah, and then these types of restaurants, this is, I mean, a number of different types of restaurants do this, but the one that, is this like Mongolian Grill? Just by looking at the ingredients, it's too hard to tell. But I've been to like a Mongolian Grill. I love Mongolian Grill because it's how much you can fit in your bowl is the same cost. So you just try to stuff it with as much as possible. And then they put it onto like a flat plate like this and cook it in front of your face. But that's, oh, that is Mongolian Grill. Okay. It's actually been so many years since I've been to a Mongolian Grill though. Mongolian Grill was one of those things where like in college or just post-college, where it was like, try to get as much food as you can for as little money as possible. But yeah, it's been years since I've been. Melissa's not too big of a fan of it, and I'm not gonna go to Mongolian Grill by myself. So, and I guess I don't hear of many people like when I meet up with friends to eat or something like that. There's not many requests for Mongolian Grill. Was that a fad that just died out? We do have some around us, but yeah, it's just I haven't been to one in years. They do it buffet style, endless bowls for like 15 bucks. I've never been to one of those buffet ones, or maybe at the time I went. I usually went like around dinner time, and what they had was like fixed price for a bowl. As much as you can fit in the bowl is what you get. I don't remember what the price was back in college, but yeah. Keychron ramen is for the introverts, so you don't see anything. Yeah, Keychron, I mean, geez, when we were in Japan, how many times did we go? It was so cheap. It worked out to like $8 or $9 a bowl, which compared to US prices of like $15, $16, $17 a bowl is like half price almost. We probably went to Keychron specifically like 3 times when we were in Japan. But we went to we tried other ramen places as well. But yeah, and they have Keychron in New York too, and it's pretty much the same thing. I've been to both. It tastes the same. All right, y'all. Wow, 2 hours and 43 minutes of just shooting the crap, talking about whatever. That's gonna be it for the stream. So, thank you everyone for keeping me company. Otherwise, I would be a crazy person talking to myself about all these random topics that we bring up. But, yeah, no video this weekend, unfortunately. I'm gonna get it out. Just let me shake this rust off. The thing is, in the past, I have gone, like, you know, under the radar, dark on YouTube. Like just completely. I think when I did it back in 2018 or 19, it was like for 6 months or something. But I'm hoping that at least with me being active, like with posting either the shorts or the weekly streams, you guys know that I'm just not just like, where the heck is Danny? This is at least like a weekly update that I'm still alive and, you know, still here. Long form will be returning, but there's not a shortage of stuff to watch on YouTube, so hopefully, you know, I'm not like leaving this huge void of tech content. I'm sure I'm not. There's so many other tech content creators constantly making stuff. So yeah. But I'm gonna go get something to eat real quick because it is Wednesday. So not only is Wednesday weekly stream, it is also adult night at the skate rink. So me and Melissa are gonna go roller skating as we do. So I gotta get ready for that, get some food in me, and prepare my skates. So everyone, hope you have a great rest of your day, have a great rest of your week, and have a great weekend coming up. Yeah, I'm trying to get back in the Discord server more, so information on the Discord is in the description, so you can catch me there in between the streams, and if not, other members of the community. But yeah, I will see you guys all next week in the next stream or in the comments of the short coming out this weekend. So y'all have a great night, and I will see you later. Bye bye.